Hey, welcome. This is Joe from the Cell Phone Geek. Hey, testing out, trying to do a video here of myself and also of my screen here. So we're gonna start off here. Sorry about this. Let's do restart. All right. Alright, so today we're going to do Windows 8, do clean install of Windows 8 here. Let me blow this up to full screen so you guys can see it here. There we go. Alright, so we're installing Windows 8 today. This is Windows 8 Pro. So you can go here and start installing this. Install now. I'm doing this on a virtual PC on my computer here. I'm not doing this as a clean install on my current hard drive because I just want to play around with this and see how it works. Currently I'm using Windows 7. So I have to accept the terms here, hit next. Let's do custom install. It's selected. Next. That's the drive. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and install here. It's going to copy the files over to this hard drive, which is actually just a virtual hard drive. 25 gig is what's set up currently, but it will expand as needed. So I can hold more data on there as they get to that point. So he's going to start installing here. Obviously, it's going to take a while. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and I'll show you what happens after it does this installing stuff. Because right now it's just moving files onto the hard drive and putting them in order so it can install. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and then I'll show you what the next step is after it finishes installing these 5 steps. Alright, so the next part here, you got to punch in your product key, so go ahead and put the product key in. Alright, now it's asking you to personalize. So computer PC name, I'm going to name it Joe here. Actually, yeah, I'll name it Joe. Sorry, caps lock's on. I'll call it Joe dash 8 since it's on Windows 8 here. And then you get to pick a color. Sorry, pardon me. You have yellow, green, blue, pink, brown, all different colors here. Let's see. I'm going to go with this darker blue. I kind of like that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and next. And then it's asked you if you want to do express settings, if you want to do custom. Under express, it just turns everything to the defaults. I like to do custom, so then you get to see what choices are and see maybe you want some of them to be turned on and some turned off. So I'm going to go ahead and hit customize. And then ask you if you want to turn file and sharing off on the device. So I'm going to turn on file sharing, so I hit yes. Protect your PC for updates, and then ask you, do you want to automatically install important and recommended updates, or do you want to automatically install just important updates, or don't set up Windows updates, which is not recommended. For right now, I'm going to hit don't set up Windows updates. I'll change that later. Next is automatically get device drivers, apps, and info for new devices. Make sure that's turned on. You would like that. If you're not going to go and fix the Windows updates later, go ahead and just leave the default to automatically install important and recommended updates. But I have to go in and I'm going to go and change some settings. So I'm going to set this up now as to set up Windows updates later, because I also want to make sure that this is going to boot up and is working here before I go and do all the updates for Windows 8. Next thing is turn on Windows Smart Screen Filter to check files and apps with Microsoft. That's fine. Turn on Internet Explorer Smart Screen Filter to check URLs and downloads with Microsoft. That's fine. Send a do not track request to websites you visit in Internet Explorer. That's up to you if you want to turn that on or off. By default, it's on. You can turn that off later if you don't like it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Alright. Next thing is send Microsoft info to help make Windows and apps better. So help improve Windows Store by sending URLs to web content that apps use. I'm going to go ahead and leave that to off. You probably don't want that either. That's if you want to send information to the apps that you download of websites you've gone to. I don't recommend doing that, but you can if you'd like. Help Microsoft respond to malicious apps and malware by joining Microsoft Active Protection Service. You can turn it on if you want. I'm not going to turn it on now. I may turn it on later. That just helps Microsoft with finding viruses and malware in apps that you're downloading that they may not have caught when they posted that app in the App Store. Alright, participate in the Custom Experience Improvement Program to help import Microsoft software and services. It's a file will periodically download to collect better info. I'm going to leave that off also because that's just going to use if you have a set bandwidth of how much internet you can use per month. This is going to suck up your bandwidth, so I would leave that off. I'm going to leave it off because I don't want it to use up my my bandwidth, since I only have a limited bandwidth here on my computer. So I don't want to use up all the internet for it to download and do all this. And also, Microsoft doesn't really need a customer experience imported from software and services that I use. They can get it from other places, so they don't really need my input on that. And the last one is help improve Windows help content by sending info to the Help Experience Improvement Program. I'm going to leave that off as well. I'm not really here to, well, you should improve Microsoft, but they don't need to know. What it basically does is just track all the stuff that you do, and anytime the computer locks up or freezes, then it sends a message to Microsoft saying, hey, this person was running these programs and then it crashed. And I really like that they know what programs I was running or using at the time, so I'm going to leave that off as well. So it's up to you if you want to turn that on or not. I leave it to off. Alright, go ahead next. The next thing is use Windows error reporting to check for solutions to problems. I like to have that on. So if a program does crash, and you can have it check for errors online for that same error code, and it will try to give you a recommendation on how to fix it. Next one is use Internet Explorer compatibility list to help improve my experience on some sites. I can leave that on as well for now. Let apps use my name and account picture. That's fine. They're just going to take that from your live account, your whatever your username or screen name at live.com. It's just going to grab your name that you have registered with that, which in my case is going to be Joe, and then it's going to take my picture. So whatever my profile picture is, they're going to grab that as well. So you'll see that when you go into the app, it will show your name and your profile picture, which is kind of cool. It makes it more personal. Alright, turn on Windows location platform so apps can ask users for their location. I like to have that turned off, but some people like to have that on because like if you're going to be using the Maps program for your GPS, especially in your car, but I'm using this on my desktop. But leaving that on, then you'll be able to use the GPS built into your device, and then it will be able to show where you're at on the map. But I'm going to leave that off because I'm not going to be using that feature. But also it's for other apps too. It's not just for the map. That's for all apps, so they can know where you're at, which I don't know if it's good or bad. You can make that decision yourself. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And then now it's asking you to sign into your PC with your Microsoft account. And they said they're not going to spam you. When you sign in, then you can download apps from the Windows Store, get your online content, Microsoft apps automatically, also sync settings online to make your PCs look and feel the same, like your browser history, account picture, and color. So go ahead and put in your, if you have an account with Microsoft Live, you can go ahead and put that email address into the box here. If you don't have one, you can hit sign up for a new email address. And you can also sign in without a Microsoft account. It's up to you. For right now, I'm just going to hit sign in without a Microsoft account. So it's just going to set up a local account for me. So pretty much going to tell you now is that there's two options for signing in. You can use a Microsoft account, which is always going online and pulling the information off of your Live account, your Microsoft Live account. So it keeps everything up to date. And also you can have it sync between multiple computers. So if you have a tablet, a laptop, and a desktop all running Windows 8, if you log into your, say, Microsoft Live account on all three of your devices, then they'll all look the same whenever you grab one of your devices. They'll all have the same layout. So all of your tiles and everything will be in the same order, and whatever information you have on it, including your contacts, your calendar, all that good stuff, your email. The local account, It just signs in as a local, so it's only set up for that one computer, not set up for multiple devices. So you have to create a username and account for each PC you use. So it's just basically it's client computer basically. So it's local only to that one computer, not to multiple devices. You'll need a Microsoft account to download apps, but you can set that up later. So if you want to download any apps from Microsoft, besides the ones that already come in by default, then you will have to set up a Microsoft account, but you can do that at a later time when you're ready to install our apps. Because you can also run Windows 7 apps and previous from Vista, any programs from there, like you can run Firefox, if you use CCleaner, if you use Photoshop, all those will still work. It's just, it looks a little, you still install on Windows 8, but you have to switch back to the view of Windows 7, which is the arrow view, and then you can run those apps through there. In Windows 8, it's actually set up as tiles, which I'll show you a little preview of that after we finish installing here. Alright, and then go ahead and hit local account. So now it's asking for a username, so I'm going to go ahead and type in Joe is my username. Password. If you want a password, choose something that will be easy to remember but hard for others to guess. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that blank for now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit finish. So I'm not going to use a password. I'm not setting up a password for now. Plus, like I said before, this is for my virtual, so I'm not going to be running this all the time yet. So I want to play around with it first here, so I don't really want to be typing in a password every time I boot up into my virtual here. So now it says finalizing your settings. Just take a few minutes here. I set up Windows 8 on a Windows tablet on an Asus Vivo Smart Tab, and that came with preloaded with Windows 8 on it. Just Windows 8 wasn't the Pro version. And once I did it, I was setting up like this one here. This is the Pro version, Windows 8 Pro, and just finalizing your settings, and then the welcome. It took a little bit. It took I don't know, to guess, probably about 15 minutes for it to finish up and do this after I punched in all my settings. But I set it up for a Microsoft Live account, so I'm hoping that that's what made it take longer to set up. So hopefully this will be quicker since I'm doing a local account, but I guess we'll find out here. I apologize if the video is too long for you. You can jump ahead a little bit and see what it looks like after it finishes the install. Otherwise, you can just keep watching here, and as we wait for this to finalize your settings. If it does take too long, I'll pause it, and then I'll come back to whatever it says on the screen here when the screens change. Alright, hey, so we're back. It says hi. And so while you're waiting, we'll show you some tips or something like that. While you're waiting, and then it said something, but I missed it. Sorry, apologize for that. You guys can rewind the video a little bit, and you can see what it said. Should have caught it in the video here. So now we got a blank screen, just waiting for it to boot up here. Waiting for Windows 8, which just came out recently. It came out at the end of 2012. Alright, so it looks like it's rebooting the computer here, which is just my virtual. So it'd be rebooting your computer. Coming up here, it's got the new Windows 8 logo, and it's got that swirling balls in the circle here, showing you that's loading, so it's a little different than XP and Vista, Windows 7. So here we go. It's booting up for the first time, so basically we just did an install. At some point in the install here, it had a restart, and now it's starting up. I guess, yeah, it's starting up for the first time here with Windows 8. So it's got to finish putting in its settings here. So once it completely boots up, it says please wait. Once it completely boots up, then shutdown and restart should be fairly fast. Alright, preparing to configuring Windows updates. Alright, then turn off your computer, 100% complete. Let's go in here. I think I had the virtual PC set up for 3.5 gigs of RAM. I think that's what I have it set up for. And 2 or 3 of my cores on my processor. While we're getting things ready, check out the new way to use Windows. I don't think there's any sound here. Turn the sound on, but I'll do it. After your PC is ready, I don't think there's sound, it's just reading. Move your mouse into any corner. And then it shows your, I forgot what it's called, but it's got a little, it's like a little banner here. I think it wants me to do it. Let's see if I put my mouse over here. Move your mouse into any corner. So from the top right, like they show. It's not doing like the video shows. I don't know if. Okay, I do have to do it. I just didn't click in the box. Apologize for that. We're getting your PC ready. This will take a few minutes, and then I've seen this before. Then the colors change. So you're supposed to drag your mouse into one of those corners. But since I'm in virtual, the actual virtual ends. You know, the virtual screen of mine ends where this box is. So any of this black that's on the outside of it is not part of the virtual computer for the graphic wise. So that's why I had to click in there and then move my mouse to one of the corners, and then it activated it. So then it would go on to the next step, because they want to let you know that when you go to one of the corners, then you get that banner. It's not called a banner. I forgot what it's called. It slides out on the right hand of the screen. It will slide out to the left, and it gives you like share. Forget all this, and then one of them settings, and then the Windows button, stuff like that. Alright, so I went ahead here and started up. So this is what Windows 8 looks like. I'm going to see here, pull up my settings here. Let me see if I can get in here. Drag my mouse here to one of these corners. Trying to get that side banner to come up. There we go. And then when that pops up, see, it shows you your time. Hey, it went away. It shows you your time. It's got my name here in the corner and the default profile picture. Oh, I think I have to go to, yeah, I have to actually point to one of the corners. Then you have a search, a share, a start, like your start button on normally like on Windows 7 if you're familiar with Windows 7. Then you have devices and settings. I'm going to click on settings. And then it's got, under settings, it's got tiles and help. Then you have network, your volume control, the brightness of the screen, which is unavailable because I am on a desktop computer. You have your notifications set up, your power to turn it on and off, and your keyboard settings. But I have a keyboard plugged in through USB, so that's not going to come up either, because otherwise, when you click into a text box, the keyboard will automatically pop up on the screen. And they also have change PC settings, which is where I'm going. It's kind of like the control panel. And that's where you have all of your good stuff here, which is like basically all your settings for the whole computer. So I'm going to see here if there's a setup. Oh yeah, I need to activate Windows before I can do this. Okay, I didn't activate Windows yet, so it's not going to give me these features. But I was going to see if I could blow it up to make the pixel quality, like pixels bigger, so it'd fill the whole screen. But it doesn't look like I'll be able to do that currently. And then let's see. Then to close an app, you left click on your mouse when you're on the top of the screen, and you drag down. It's supposed to close the app. Oh, you have to wait for the hand, I think. And of course, I'm having trouble because I'm using. There we go. Because I don't have my mouse pinned inside the virtual, so my mouse keeps falling out, and then I'm not able to get control. Alright, so that's basically what Windows 8 looks like. And then if you use the scroll on your mouse, you can scroll through your apps, which obviously there's not very many because I just started this. But then you can take if you left click and hold down, you can move them around. You can move the tile around, and this is a double wide tile, and then you have a single one, and you can actually change it. You can make it a double or a single. There's settings you can go in and change that so then it is half or double, whichever you'd like. We can't go any more than 2, and it has to be at least 1. And then as you can see, these are live tiles. So like you have the weather here for different areas. This is Paris. You have Bing News, and then you have regular news, and then you have pictures. Then your calendar, if you have appointments and stuff coming up on a calendar, they would show up on your calendar. Same with email, your emails pop up. People that you have set up in here. This basically, once you set up your live account, then all of these tiles will come to life. Messaging, so those will all work. Your desktop, this is if you want to use the arrow view, which is basically looks like Windows 7. If you click on desktop, it brings you to aerial view, which is basically Windows 7 layout here, other than you don't have the start button here on the bottom left of your screen. But if you put your mouse here in the corner, you basically have like your start menu pops up here. So then you hit start, and then it comes back to your real view, which is Windows 8 layout view, which is pretty neat. It's a new design, so I'll have to play around with it and see what I think. I'll let you know. I'll have some more videos on Windows 8, show you a few tips and tricks that I learned as I go through, and also post some comments and drop me some videos of any cool stuff that you learn with Windows 8, because obviously I like to learn new stuff. This is a new Windows 8, very new. It hasn't even been on 6 months yet, and there's a lot of stuff to learn, of course, because it's different than Windows 7. It's different than Microsoft has ever had before. So it's time to learn a new operating system here. I hope you enjoy my video, and there'll be more videos to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.